everyone, welcome back to Maths Nation. Today we're going to be going through the 2024 November Paper 2 Calculator Foundation Tier paper. We'll be going through each and every question step by step to make sure that we get full marks. Let's get into it. Question 1 says, write 17% as a fraction. So to change a percentage into a fraction, we always divide by 100. So that's 17 divided by 100, and that's 0.17. Question 2 says, write 140 minutes in hours and minutes. So that's going to be 140 divided by 60, as there's 60 minutes in 1 hour, and that's 2 hours and 20 minutes. Question 3 says, write these numbers in order of size. Start with the smallest number. So the smallest number is 0.05, then 0.5, then 0.507, and then 0.57. Question 4 says, write down the mathematical name of this polygon. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. And so a polygon that has 6 sides is known as a hexagon. Question 5 says, find the number that is exactly halfway between -2 and 8. So we can draw a number line. If we have 0 here, -1 and -2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now all we need to do is work our way inwards from both sides, 1, 2, and so on until we get to the middle number. And as you can see that the middle number is 3. And so our answer is 3. Question 6 says, Jo uses beads to make bracelets. For each bracelet, she uses 5 red beads and 7 white beads. Jo has 52 red beads and 80 white beads. Work out the greatest number of bracelets Jo can make. Well, Jo has 52 red beads and she needs 5 to make 1. So 52 divided by 5 is equal to 10.4. She needs 7 white beads, but she has a total of 80. So if we say 80 divided by 7, and that is equal to 11.43. And so as we need both, we have to take the smallest number, which is 10.4. We can't have 0.4 of a bracelet, and so we round down, and our answer is 10. Question 7 says, here are the ages in years of 8 children. Work out the mean age. So to work out the mean age, we need to add all of these numbers together and then divide by the numbers there are. So we have 14, add 10, add 10, add 13, add 15, add 9, add 15, add 10, divided by the total number, which is 8. So that's equal to 96 divided by 8, which is equal to 12. So the average or the mean age is 12 years. Part B says, work out the range of ages. So the range of ages is the maximum age minus the minimum age. So the maximum age is 15 and the minimum age is 9. So 15 minus 9 is 6. So the range of ages is 6 years. Question C says, one of the children is chosen at random. On the probability scale below, mark with a cross the probability that this child has an age of 15. Well, we can see that 2 of the 8 children have an age of 15. And so our fraction is going to be 2 over 8. And we can simplify that to 1 over 4. And so 1 over 4 is here. So we can mark with a cross there. Question 8 says, Junaid says that 20 is a square number because 10 squared is equal to 20. Is Junaid correct? Give a reason for your answer. Well, no, Junaid is not correct. And we can prove that by saying that 10 squared is not equal to 20, but that's 10 times 10, which is equal to 100. Part B says, Chloe says when you divide an even number by an even number, the answer is always an even number. Write down an example to show that Chloe is wrong. Well, all we need to do is find an even number that if we divide by another even number, it gives us an odd number. So for example, if I have the number 42, which is an even number, and I divide that by 2, which is also an even number, it gives me 21. And 21 is an odd number, which proves Chloe wrong. Question 9 says, there are 90 red counters and 150 yellow counters in a bag. Write down the ratio of the number of red counters to the number of yellow counters. Give your ratio in its simplest form. So the overall ratio is going to be 90 red counters to 150 yellow counters. And so we need to give our answer in its simplest form. And so the first thing that we can do is divide both sides by 10. And that gives us 9 to 15. And then we can divide both sides by 3 as well. As 3 goes into both numbers, that's 3 to 5. So our answer is 3 to 5 as a ratio. Question 10 says, here is a square. The square has a perimeter of 40 centimeters. 5 of these squares are used to make the shape below. Work out the perimeter of this shape. Well, this square here is 40 centimeters perimeter, and it has 4 sides. So one side is going to be 40 divided by 4, which is 10 centimeters. So we can say that this length here is 10 centimeters. We then need to work out how many sides we have of our shape here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And so to work out the perimeter of the shape, it's 12 sides multiplied by 10 centimeters, which is 120 centimeters. Question 11a says, simplify 2x multiplied by 3y. Well, we can multiply the numbers together. So 2 times 3 gives us 6. And then we have an x and a y. So our answer is 6xy. Part B says, simplify 3d minus 4e plus 2d plus e. So we can add or subtract the letters that are the same. And so 3d plus 2d gives us 5d. And minus 4e plus e gives us minus 3e. So our answer is 5d minus 3e. Question 12 says, 180 tickets are sold for a concert. 60% of the tickets are child tickets. The rest of the tickets are adult tickets. The total cost of the 180 tickets is £1,944. Each child ticket costs £8. Work out the cost of each adult ticket. Well, we have 180 tickets. And so to work out the number of child tickets, it's 180 multiplied by 60%. And 60% is the same as 0.6. So 180 multiplied by 0.6 is equal to 108. So 108 tickets are child tickets. Therefore, adult tickets are going to be the total 180 minus the number of child tickets, which are 108, which is equal to 72. So we have 108 child tickets and 72 adult tickets. Now we know that each child ticket costs £8, and so the total cost for child tickets is 108 multiplied by the £8, and that equals £864. The question tells us that the total for the 180 tickets is 1,944. So the cost for all adult tickets is going to be the total amount, which is 1,944, minus the cost for the child tickets, which is 864, and that is equal to £1,080. So now we just need to work out how much one adult ticket is going to cost. So that's going to be the 1,080 divided by the total number of adult tickets, which is 72. And if we put that into our calculator, we get £15. So for one adult ticket, it costs us £15. Question 13 says, ABC is a triangle. BCD is a straight line. Show that the triangle ABC is isosceles. Give a reason for each stage of your working. So the first thing that we can do is we can work out the angle BAC, which is this. So BAC is going to be 360 because that's the angles around the point, minus angle A, which is 310, and that's 50 degrees. So this angle here is 50 degrees. The next angle we can work out is this internal angle here, ACB. And so ACB is going to be, well, we have a straight line, and that's 180 degrees, minus 115, and that gives us 65 degrees. And so this angle here is 65 degrees. Finally, we can work out this angle here, which is angle ABC. And we know that the total amount of angles in a triangle is 180. We've worked out the other two, which is 50 and 65. So we can minus that, minus 50, minus 65, and that equals 65. So this angle here is 65 degrees. And so because angle ABC is equal to angle ACB. Question 14 says, Amy walked from her home to the skate park. The travel graph of Amy's walk to the skate park is shown below. On the way to the skate park, Amy stopped at her friend's house. Question A is asking, how far is it from her friend's house to the skate park? So from the graph, you can see that Amy stopped at her friend's house at 2 p.m. until 2:30 here. And at that point, she had traveled 3 kilometers. She then started going to the park and got there at 3 p.m. and that was 5 kilometers. So we do 5 minus 3 is equal to 2. So the distance from her friend's house to the skate park is 2 kilometers. Amy stayed at the skate park for 2 hours. Then she walked home at a steady speed. She took 1 hour 30 minutes to walk home. Complete the travel graph. So the first part says that she stayed at the skate park for 2 hours. So if she was there at 3 p.m., 2 hours later will be 5 p.m. And so we're going to have a straight line. From 5 p.m., she walks home and it takes her an hour and a half at a steady speed. So an hour and a half from 5 p.m. is 6:30. So she comes home at 6:30. As the question says it's at a steady speed, we can draw a straight line as the gradient is going to be the same. And so that is our travel graph completed. In the exam, make sure to use a ruler and draw straight lines. Question 15 says, a map has a scale of 1 to 25,000. On the map, a road has a length of 14 centimeters. Work out the real length of the road. Give your answer in kilometers. Right, so if we know that 1 centimeter on our map represents 25,000 centimeters in real life, then if the road is 14 centimeters long, we have to multiply both sides by 14. So 25,000 multiplied by 14 gives us 350,000 centimeters. The next part of the question is asking us to give our answer in kilometers. So to convert from centimeters to kilometers, we need to divide by 100,000. So 350,000 centimeters divided by 100,000 gives us 3.5. So the answer is 3.5 kilometers. Question 16 says, Aisha has 2 boxes of sweets, box A and box B. In box A, there are only 10 red sweets and 30 green sweets. In box B, there are only 7 red sweets and 18 green sweets. Aisha is going to take at random a sweet from box A and a sweet from box B. Which box gives Aisha the greater probability of taking a red sweet, box A or box B? You must show how you get your answer. So let's work out the total number of sweets in each box. So for box A, the total is 10 red sweets and 30 green sweets, giving us a total of 40 sweets. For box B, we have 7 red sweets and 18 green sweets, giving us a total of 25 sweets. So the probability of getting a red sweet in box A, so probability of getting a red sweet for box A is 10/40, and the probability of getting a red sweet in box B is 7/25. Now 10/40 simplified is 1/4. And if we change both of them into decimal places, we can see that 1/4 is 0.25 and 7/25 is 0.28. So the probability of getting a red sweet is greater in box B. Question 17 says, last year Emma's car insurance was £285. This year, her car insurance costs 7% less. Work out the cost of Emma's car insurance this year. So what we need to do is we need to work out what our multiplier is going to be. So we know it's 7% less. So that's 100% minus the 7%, which is equal to 93%. Now, we can't multiply by a percentage in our calculators, so we're going to change it into a decimal place. So 93% divided by 100 will give us 0.93. So that's our multiplier. Now all we have to do is £285 multiplied by 0.93, and that gives us £265 and 5 pence. So Emma's car insurance this year is £265 and 5 pence. Peter sells bikes. Each month he's paid £1,700 plus a bonus. The bonus is 5% of the total value of the bikes he sells that month. Last month, Peter was paid £2,100. Work out the total value of the bikes he sold last month. Well, let's work out how much of that £2,100 was a bonus. 2,100 minus 1,700 he gets as a salary, and that leaves £400. So £400 is Peter's bonus. Now we know that he gets 5% bonus, so that's 400 is equal to 5%. So to work out what the total was to get to 100, well, to get from 5% to 100%, we multiply by 20. So we're going to multiply by 20 on this side as well. And 400 multiplied by 20 gives us 8,000. And so the total value of the bikes he sells that month is £8,000. Question 18 says, describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle B. Well, firstly, we can see that triangle B is larger than triangle A, so we know it's an enlargement. All we need to do now is figure out what the scale factor is. How much bigger is shape B than shape A? So the way we can do that is we can work out what the coordinates of each point are and find out how much larger it is on shape B. So this point here we can see is 2, 3. This point here is 3, 3. And this point here is 3, 1. The corresponding angles on shape B, or the corresponding points, are 4 and 6, 6, 6, and 6, 2. So as we can see, the coordinates for shape B are twice the size of coordinates of shape A, and so the enlargement is by scale factor 2, as we've multiplied everything by 2, with center 0, 0. So the scale factor is starting from this point here, 0, 0. Question 19a is asking us to factorize fully 15w squared minus 5w. So what we need to do is we need to find what's common in both 15w squared and 5w. So we can take a 5 out and we can take a w out, and that leaves us with 3w minus 1. And so we have factorized that fully to 5w multiplied by 3w minus 1. Part B says, on the number line below, show the set of values of x for which minus 2 is less than x, which is less than or equal to 4. So x has to be between -2 and 4. And so we can draw that line there. And then as x is also equal to 4, we have to color this in. And so our number line looks like that. 20 says, use your calculator to work out the value of the square root of 208.3 minus 15.7 divided by 5.694 plus 1.8 squared. Write down all the digits on your calculator display. So if we put that into our calculator, we should get 4.643069317. Question 21 is asking us, the scatter graph shows information about some ships. It shows the length and the width of each ship. Question A says, what type of correlation does this scatter graph show? Well, if we look at the scatter graph, we can see that as you increase the length of the ship, the width of the ship also increases. And so we can say that there is a positive correlation. As one thing is getting bigger, the other thing is also getting bigger. Part B says, draw a line of best fit on the scatter graph. So a line of best fit is a line that is as close to all the points as possible. And so we can say that a line of best fit is something that is going to look like that. A different ship has a length of 194 meters. Question C is asking us, use your line of best fit to find an estimate for the width of the ship. So 194 is here, and so we go up to our line of best fit, like so, and then we go across to get the width, and that is roughly 28 meters. So we can estimate the width of the ship to be 28 meters. Question 22 says, in London, a 200-gram chocolate bar costs £3.50. In Zurich, a 360-gram chocolate bar costs 7.2 Swiss francs. The exchange rate is £1 to 1.25 Swiss francs. In which city is the chocolate bar the better value for money? In London or in Zurich? You must show how you get your answer. Well, the first thing that we need to do is we need to exchange the London price to Swiss francs or the Zurich price to pounds. Let's exchange the London price to Swiss francs. So we know that £3.50 is how much it costs for 200 grams. And so if you multiply that by 1.25, which is the exchange rate, that is equal to 4.375 Swiss francs. So we know that for 200 grams of the London price, it costs us 4.375 Swiss francs. And so to get the price of 1 gram, we're going to divide by 200 on both sides. So 200 divided by 200 gives us 1 gram. And we do the same thing to the other side of the ratio. So we divide 4.375 by 200, and that gives us 0.0219 Swiss francs. So that's how much it costs for the London price in Swiss francs for 1 gram. If we do the same thing for the Zurich price, we know that 360 grams costs us 7.2 Swiss francs. To get 1 gram, we divide both sides by 360. So 360 divided by 360 is 1. And 7.2 divided by 360 gives us 0.02. And so we can see for the London price to the Zurich price for 1 gram of a chocolate bar in Swiss francs is 0.0219 to 0.02. And so the Zurich price is better for value. So our answer is Zurich. Question 23 says, Tom was asked to draw a Venn diagram for this information. Here is his answer. Write down 2 things Tom should do to make his answer fully correct. So the first thing that we notice is that set A has 17 and set B also has 17. So both should have 17. And so quite correctly, he's put 17 in the intersection. However, Tom has also put 17 here. And so he's doubly counted the number 17 in set A. And so the first thing that Tom should do is make sure that 17 is only in the intersection. The next thing that we can notice is that in set epsilon, it should be odd numbers between 0 and 20, but he has missing 1. 1 should be on the outside. So he should have 1 on the outside. And so that's the second thing that Tom should do. So 1 should be on the outside region in epsilon. Question 24a says complete the table of values for y is equal to x squared minus 2x minus 3. So all we need to do is we need to plug in the x values and find out what the y value is. So the first number is minus 2. So y is equal to minus 2 all squared minus 2 times minus 2 minus 3. Minus 2 squared is 4. 2 times minus 2 is minus 4. Minus 4 is plus 4 minus 3, which is equal to 8 minus 3, which is equal to 5. So the first y value is 5. We then have x is 0. So again, we do the same thing. Y is equal to 0 squared minus 2 times 0 minus 3. Well, y is equal to 0 squared is 0. 2 times 0 is 0 and minus 3. So y is equal to minus 3 here. The next value we need to work out is when x is equal to 1. So y is equal to 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 3. 1 squared is 1. Minus 2 times 1 is minus 2 minus 3. And therefore y is equal to minus 4 when x is equal to 1. If we do the same thing for 3 and 4, we should get y is equal to 3 squared minus 2 times 3 minus 3. Y is equal to 3 squared is 9 minus 2 times 3, which is minus 6 minus 3. And therefore y is equal to 0 when x is equal to 3. And finally, if we have for x is equal to 4, so we have y is equal to 4 all squared minus 2 times 4 minus 3. 4 squared is 16 minus 2 times 4, which is 8 minus 3. And therefore y is equal to 5. So when x equals 4, y is equal to 5. Part B says on the grid, draw the graph y is equal to x squared minus 2x minus 3 for values of x from minus 2 to 4. So all we need to do is plot our diagram. We have our x coordinate and our y coordinate for each of these points. And so we go ahead and draw that. So x is minus 2. So we go across to the left and then up 5. So the first point is there. Then minus 1, 0 is here. 0, minus 3. 2, minus 3. 3, 0. And 4, 5. And we can see that this is going to be a curved graph because the equation is y equals x squared, and y equals x squared is always a curved graph. So if we join our dots together, we should get something that looks like this. Question 25 says, the cost of a first class stamp increased from 76p to 85p. The cost of a second class stamp increased from 65p to 66p. Philip says the percentage increase in the cost of a first class stamp is more than 7 times the percentage increase in the cost of a second class stamp. Is Philip correct? You must show all your working. So we need to work out what the percentage increase for each is. So for a first class stamp, to work out the percentage, it's the difference over the original amount. So the difference is going to be what the price is now, which is 85 pence, minus what it was, which is 76 pence, divided by the original price, which is 76 pence. 85 minus 76 is 9, so it's 9 over 76. And that as a percentage in our calculator is 0.118 multiplied by 100 to turn it into a percentage, which is 11.8%. 11.8%. So for a first class stamp, the increase in price is 11.8%. If we do the same thing for the second class stamp, so second class stamp, that's going to be the price now, which is 66 pence, minus what it was, which was 65 pence, over the original price, which was 65 pence. That's 1 over 65, which is equal to 0.0153. And if you multiply that by 100 to get a percentage, that gives you 1.54% because of what you said on our calculator previously. There was an 8 here, so we're going to round up. So it's 1.54% increase. And so to work out whether Philip is correct in saying that the price has gone up by 7 times the amount for the first class for the second, we do the 11.8% divided by the 1.54%. And if you put that into a calculator, we get 7.66. So yes, it has gone up by more than 7 times. Question 26 says the diagram shows triangle ABC. In the diagram, all measurements are in centimeters. AC is equal to BC, and the perimeter of the triangle is 72 centimeters. Work out the area of the triangle. So we know that the perimeter is 72 centimeters. So we know that all sides added together should equal 72. So that will be length AB, which is 2x plus 5, plus length BC, which is 4x minus 4, plus length AC, which is 2x plus 11. And that equals 72. So we can collect all like terms. That's 2x plus 4x is 6x, plus 2x is 8x. 5 minus 4 is 1, plus 11 is 12, is equal to 72. We take the 12 to the other side. That's 8x is equal to 72 minus 12. And that gives us 60. And therefore, to get x, we divide both sides by 8. So that's 60 divided by 8. And therefore, x is equal to 7.5. So now we can work out the actual lengths of for each side of the triangle, as we know the value of x. So for length AC, we do it here. It's going to be 2 multiplied by x, which is 7.5, plus 11. And that's equal to 2 times 7.5, which is 15, plus 11, which is equal to 26. So AC is 26 centimeters. We can do AB. That's 2 times 7.5 plus 5, which is 15, plus 5, which is 20. And finally, length BC is 4 multiplied by 7.5 minus 4 is equal to 30 minus 4, which is equal to 26. So it's 26 centimeters as well, which it says in the question AC is equal to BC. So now that we have the lengths, we can work out the area of the triangle. We can cut this triangle in half as it's an isosceles triangle. We know that side AC is equal to BC. And so we have a right angle triangle. So we know that the total length of AB is 20 centimeters, which means this length here is 10 centimeters, i.e. half of the length. And so Pythagoras' theorem says a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared, and c is the hypotenuse, in our case 26. And so if we let a equal 10 centimeters, so 10 squared plus b squared, which is what we don't know, is equal to 26 squared. 100 plus b squared is equal to 676. And so if we make b squared the subject, it's 676 minus 100. B squared is 576. And so b is the square root of 576, which is equal to 24. And so the height of the triangle is 24 centimeters. And so we can work out the area of the triangle as base times height divided by 2. Well, we know that the base is 10, the height is 24, and we do that divided by 2. That's equal to 240 divided by 2, which is equal to 120. That is this area here, which is 120. So we need to times it by 2 so we can get the second triangle that we've made. And so it's 120 times 2, which is 240. So the original triangle is 240 centimeters squared. Question 27 says 1.25 times 10 to the power of minus 12 is equal to k times 4 times 10 to the minus 20. Work out the value of k, give your answer in standard form. So all we really need to do is rearrange this equation. So right now it's 1.25 times 10 to the minus 12 is equal to k multiplied by 4 times 10 to the minus 20. And so we're going to take the multiplied 4 times 10 to the minus 20 and divide by 4 times 10 to the minus 20. And so our equation looks like this. K is equal to 1.25 times 10 to the power of minus 12 over 4 times 10 to the power of minus 20. And that will equal 3.125 times 10 to the power of 7. Question 28 says, the diagram shows a solid cylinder with a base radius 3 centimeters and height 10 centimeters. The cylinder is made from steel. It has a mass of 2,250 grams. Work out the density of the steel. Give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to work out the volume of the cylinder. And so the volume of a cylinder has the general equation of pi r squared multiplied by h, which is equal to pi. R is the radius, in our case 3, so multiplied by 3 squared, multiplied by the height, which is 10. And that is equal to 282.74334. And that will be centimeters cubed. The formula for density is mass over volume. And so we know that the mass is 2,250 grams over the density we've just worked out, which is 282.74334. Put that into our calculator, we get 7.96. And so the density of this solid cylinder is 7.96 grams per centimeters cubed. That brings us to the end of the paper. I hope that helped, and I hope that you were able to follow through and understand how we tackled each and every question. Please make sure to like, share and subscribe and hit that notification bell.